Let's introduce the numbers to you in French now, and as you can see in Chapter 1, it's going to be the numbers 0 through 10 that you have to know. And it's, again, going to be fairly easy because French is so similar to English. You see the digits are exactly the same as you see them from 1 to 10. So in other words, the numbers 0, 1, the shape of the 2, the shape of the 3 are already familiar to your eye. So all you have to do is develop your ear and your mouth to make the sounds that French people make when they see those same exact symbols. And it's fairly close to English in some of them. And so we'll start with those. For instance, here we go with the first one, 0, just like our word zero. So that hopefully is very easy to remember. Just don't forget there's that accent aigu right on the first E. That accent going up is an accent aigu. So the spelling of that will be 0. Now, the pronunciation is what you really need to worry about for the quiz, which is 0, as I already said. 0. The quiz is not going to have you write them down, at least not this particular time. Eventually you'll have to know how to spell these, but for the Chapter 1 quiz, all you have to do is recognize them when you hear them. So, because what's going to happen is I will say a number, and you will have to write down the number that you thought I said. So if you hear me say 0, you would write down the 0 shape on your quiz paper. Another easy one to know is the number 6. As you can see, it's spelled exactly the same as our English counterpart. Pronunciation is a little bit different though. It's cease, cease, instead of 6. They say cease. So what do you suppose they say for this number then, since the spelling is so close? If we say cease, this would be dix, and you probably guessed that, okay? Cease and dix. So those two sound a lot alike, and this one looks a lot like English. A lot like English. Now let's go and do 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 is and it's like you've been punched in the gut if you're trying to think how to say it. Okay. De, like well, de. How could you have been that silly? Okay, de. And then here's this tricky one, trois. Trois. You got to roll that R sound in there. Trois. Now you're saying, well, wait, that sounds a lot like that word for, you know, moi et toi, and you. Remember, that's like je m'appelle Bob, et toi, my name is Bob, and you, toi, and trois sound an awful lot alike. How do they know which one they're talking about? Well, it's from context, okay? Because if I were to say a sentence like my name is Bob and toi, you're going to know it's going to be and you, not and three. That would make no sense, okay? If I were saying my phone number is, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you're going to know that the toi in that case is the number 3, not 1, 2, you, 4, 5, 6. That would make no sense, right? So it's usually from the context that you can tell which number or word is being used. Is it the number 3, toi, or is it the and you, toi? Okay? But we do the same thing in English. You stop and think about it, like the sun rose on the rows of roses. Well, that rose sound is repeated over and over again, but you knew that the sun rose, went up on the rows in terms of, you know, one after another. There's all these rows of flowers, and then on the rows of roses, rose is the flower, you know. So you know from context, in other words, how it fits in the sentence and the meaning, which one we're talking about. But anyways, 0, 1, 2, 3. And now this one is, if I say it really slow, it's 2 syllables. Quatre, quatre. That roll, the R there is the second syllable. The E is virtually silent, so quatre. But if I say it quick, it's cat, cat. So it almost sounds like the meow meow, the kitty cat word, cat, right? Just roll that R in there. Cat, 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 cat. So it sounds like cat, meow, cat. But to your American ear, that's close enough for now, but eventually you're going to be really good and you're going to go cat, and you're actually going to roll that R and everybody will hear it that's used to hearing it, okay? Cat. This one is sank, like the ship sank because it had a hole in it. Sank. We already said this was cease. This is set, like in volleyball, you bump set and spike, so the P is totally silent. Set, set. And then this number 8 is wheat. Wheat, barely touched the T though, so it sounds like the field of grain that we have growing out there by the farm, like wheat, like a wheat field. Okay, so wheat, wheat, barely touched the T. Neuf, neuf, you barely touched the V, the F, I mean, neuf. And then we said already this is 10, 10. So you have to learn the sounds of these so that if I say set, you know it's 7. If I say de, you know it's 2. If I said cat, you know it was 4. If I said oui, you know it was 8. Okay? And to help you be able to recognize those quickly, let's go through and say them, because if you can say them correctly, then when you hear them, it's much quicker to recognize them. So let's count from 0 to 10 together here. I'll go, you go, back and forth like that. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? So now practice that to the point where you can say it quickly, almost without thinking. Just like in English at this point of your life, you probably can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 without really having to stop and think about it. Practice the French pronunciation of those numbers so you can do that as well in French. So you would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just practice that until you're so familiar with it that it is really super easy. Okay? That's your main homework. Practice saying those. I am going to assign a workbook page 20 to you to do, but we'll look at that together when we get all done. That gives you a chance to learn how to spell those numbers into the appropriate blanks as you give phone numbers. So just the top of workbook page 20 is homework, but more importantly, learn the pronunciation of those by being able to count in French quickly. And we'll practice more and more with numbers when we're together in class. Good luck.